So we've come to the system management part of the ASA configuration, and I was in a real dilemma when it came to this, because for the system management you have a lot of services that have to run on an external server like SSH. I'm going to be running DHCP, SCP, NTP, and to get all of those services running on an external server you have to do that configuration on this external server. And I was thinking, do I really want to show all of those steps, because that will probably take up half of the video? So I started writing it out, and you can see that on the blog. If you go over to routercoach.com, go on the blog, and you can see all of the steps that I took to configure that external service on our Linux server. And also, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm trying to raise the subscriber count to over 4,000 before June. But to do that, I need you guys to give a brother the play special. Do you want to know what the play special is? Press like and subscribe. So back to the video. As I said, I was in a dilemma, and I was like, oh man, am I really going to spend all of this time? But the Router Coach way of doing things is, this is how we roll. We do everything. So I'm going to show you the ASA configuration and the Linux configuration, but I will configure the ASDM, but I'll probably do that in the next section. For now, I will only concentrate on the CLI. So the first part that we're going to do is DHCP. Now, if I run onto the CLI of our ASA firewall here, if I do a show int IP brief, you can see that we've got DHCP here, but it's unassigned. So what I need to do, I need to just jump on here and let's just make sure show run interface G0/2. Yeah, it has IP address DHCP, and this is all the configuration I need to try and get DHCP up and running. But first we need to connect to a DHCP server. So let's have a look at our topology, and this is the topology that we're going to be using. We have a Linux server. It goes to a switch. One connection goes to the ASDM. As I said, I will configure the ASDM in part 2 of this section of SSH management, and the other connection goes to CLI. So I have to jump onto this Linux box and do that configuration there to get DHCP up and running, which is what I'm going to do right now. So as I said, we're going to be using Ubuntu 18.04, and I have a connection out to the internet for this. So the first thing that I want to do, and as I said, we're going to be configuring DHCP. Now DHCP stands for Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, and it's a service that automatically assigns up IP addresses to client devices from a range of available configured addresses. Now, if you've got like 100 network devices, it's going to be a pain if you have to go around to each one of those and configure those manually. And as long as you've got the requisite IP addresses remaining in the pool, then, and you define the correct subnet, then why wouldn't you just allow DHCP to do that automatically? Now, I need to get into a terminal, and as I said, I know this can be done on other systems, but I choose to do it on Linux. And I'll probably do timestamps in this video as well if you just are only interested in that ASA portion, because it is an ASA course, and I do realize the first thing that I'm going to do is sudo s, put in the password, and this will give me root access to the actual Linux box. Then I'm going to do an apt update, which is just going to update my package repository. Alright, that's been upgraded. Now onto the actual DHCP configuration itself. So if I say apt install, and then I say ISC DHCP server, this is actually installing the DHCP server. Let's type yes, I do want to install it. Also, what I'm going to do, I'm going to make this screen a bit bigger, the terminal screen. So if I say view, and I say zoom in, and I'm going to do that again, say view, zoom in. Wow, that's good. Much better. I wonder if I can actually expand that as well. Ah, yeah. Now we're cooking on gas. Alright. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to check the DHCP server and see if it's up and running. So system CTL for the status of our ISC DHCP server. And we can see that that's actually failed. And I think the reason for that is because we haven't configured any pools or anything in DHCP. So what I need to do is, what is it that I need to do? Maybe I just need to restart the service. Nah, I don't think that will actually work because we've only just configured this service. Guys, I have a request from you. If you're enjoying the free content, I'm looking to increase my subscriber count to 4,000 subscribers by June. But I can only do that if you give me the Play Special. Do you want to know what the Play Special is? Press like and yeah, subscribe. Okay, back to the video. So let's do some configuration in our DHCP file, and the DHCP daemon config file is held in etc DHCP and then DHCP config, and I'm going to use a text editor which is nano to actually edit that. So if I say nano etc DHCP d.config, and this is the actual file that we're looking for. I'm going to give it a subnet range of, we're going to use the IP address. Let's have a look at the diagram again. So we're going to use the 172.16.0.0 subnet, and our Linux server, I haven't actually given it an IP address at the moment, so let me do that now. Oh, let me do this configuration first, then I will give the Linux server an IP address. So this is our subnet range here. I'm just going to take this out and change this around. Now, I'm changing the actual original DHCPD file, but if you're in a production network, you'd want to take a backup of this file and just configure the backup rather than configure the original file in case you're making any mistakes. So I'm going to say this network is 172.16.0.0 and it's going to have a /24 mask. And our range, because I'm going to give the DHCP server itself .10, I will make its range from .0, it could give any address from .0 to .9. So we're going to say you can give it out the pool of addresses from 172.16.0.1, let's say, to 172.16.0.9. I think that's it. Let's save that. So I press Control X to get out of this. I'm going to type Y. I'm just going to press Enter. Now I'm going to check the system status. Still saying failure. So let's stop that and then start it, restart it. So if I say system CTL stop first, then I'm going to say restart. Now let's have a look at the status. It's still not working. Alright, so let's do some troubleshooting on this. And the way to troubleshoot, I did see a website for this actually previously. It really did help out. It was one of the websites on Stack Overflow. So the first thing that I need to do, and I will put the link to that on the blog. So again, if you go over to www.routercoach.com and look at the blog, I will put the link to the website that helped me to actually led me in the right direction. So what I need to do is type in this command, journal CTL, and we look at our PID number. Now this here is the PID number, the 4338. That is our PID number. So I'm going to put underscore PID equals 4338, and this should point us in the direction of where the issue is. And it's telling us right here that in our etc DHCP DHCPD.conf file at line 38, there's an unexpected end of file. So what it is, I didn't actually remove the hash. So let's go back into our file, and to get out of this line C, I just say Control C. Let's up arrow a couple of times, nano. So this should be at the end of the line that we actually configured, line 39. And if you counted all of these lines, and if you don't know the number of lines, then you can put it into network plus or into YAML or something like that. And I didn't actually close the brackets properly, and it's saying it's here. So let's just delete this and then do Control X. Yes. Yes. Enter. Let's just double check on our firewall and see if we have an IP address yet, which we do not. So going back over to our Linux folder, if I stop that service again, and stopping the service should get the changes when we restarting the service. So we have to stop and restart it. We look at the status now that we've closed the lines properly in the file, and it's still saying that it has failed. So we stop the service, ISCP DHCP server. Am I doing this correctly? All right, let's run that journal again and see what has happened here. Why is this still not working? It's still saying at the end of that file, maybe I didn't save it properly or something. So Control C, Nano, go down. Did I not do it properly? Subnet range is this, but I've saved it. At line, all right, let me actually put this into YAML and find out. So let me open up. I honestly think it will work. Maybe I just didn't give it enough time. So let me Control X out of this because it looks okay. Let me run the service. No, it's definitely not working. The service is not working. All right, so Control C. I go into YAML lint validator. All right, then I need to copy this text from the nano file. I'm just wondering why that didn't come up. Did I restart the service? I said. Right, let's copy some of this config then. Highlight. Alright, maybe I could just count the lines then. Copy this. I wonder if I could just do a copy all rather than... Alright, let's paste this in and see what I've done wrong. Unexpected flow map end token in YAML stream. So there's definitely something I've done wrong there. So let me go back into the file. It's the same line it's saying, but what have I done wrong? Does it need a space or something? So let's jump onto this and put a space there. Let's save that. Let's stop the service. Let's restart the service. Now let's look at the status. So the whole issue is because I don't have an IP address assigned to the interface. So let me jump back and say IP add address of 172.16.0.10/24 for, sorry, let me find out what I need. So IPA, I'm looking to configure ENS3. So IP add address of 172.16.0.10/24 for the device, which is ENS3. Have I done this the right way around? IP add address. If not, I will just do it through the GUI. Alright, it was IP address add. Now let me do IP color of A. Now we have this IP address of 172.16.0.10. Let's see if the server is up. Status. Let's stop it and start again. Lots of mistakes I made on the first one already. Stop the service. Restart the service. Status. And it is now running. Superb. And it looks like it's given us an offer. So we've been given 172.16.0.1 on our firewall. Let's go and check that. Show interface IP brief. And there we go. We have our DHCP IP address. Let's check. Show run interface G0/2. Okay, it just says IP address. Alright, let's show. I was just trying to see if it's got a /24 mask on it, which it does. Alright, that's it for DHCP on the CLI. A bit longer than I thought, a bit of troubleshooting from my own mistakes. Let's move on to the next one, which will be NTP.